Okay, this video is about the bug in Atari Basic Revision A and Revision B. I do not know of any bugs in Revision C. If you guys out there know of any, leave a comment below, and so we'll all know about it. Okay, so for the past year or so, I've been looking for a document, and that document is this Compute magazine, dated November 1985, issue 66, volume 7, number 11. This magazine is special because on page 14 in the reader's feedback, it has this letter from Gregory Latta, and it headlines Atari cartridge dilemma solved. Let's read, shall we? Like many other Atari owners, after suffering from the bugs in Revision B Basic, that was me in the 80s. I also suffered from the same problem. I ordered the new Revision C Basic cartridge for my 800 XL. However, with the Basic cartridge in place, I can't use the Monkey Wrench 2 cartridge, a useful basic editing aid. My solution is this program, which copies the old Basic from ROM into underlying RAM with a fast machine language routine, then changes Revision B into Revision C. Only 12 bytes are different. This program runs so fast that it's almost as convenient as plugging in a cartridge. And now I can use my editing cartridge along with the new Basic. Press and return switches ROM Basic back in. Enter POKE 54017, 255 to go back to Revision C Basic in RAM. And I'll pause there for a minute so you guys can get the listing of that program. Now, Compute's response, basically just thanks the author for the program, and refers to Bill Wilkinson's column that he did in a previous Compute issue, demonstrating some of the bugs in Revision A and B Basic on the Atari 8-bit computers. So I looked online for a solution so I wouldn't have to buy the cartridge. You can buy Revision C cartridges out there on eBay for like 30 bucks or something, but it's like if you can get the ROM, just, or the patch, and just fix your computer, and it costs nothing, right? So here we go. Let's drop max there. So I had found what they were referring to, and it is up there. Okay. Now I'm going to set the camera up to get the screen. Okay. Now it auto ran that program. Now there's a test you can do to see if, okay, let me start over. it auto ran the Rev B to C program. So theoretically, this computer should have revision C basic on it now. Now, if I remember the correct memory location, that should tell us the version of the basic that's in the computer. 96 is revision B. Okay, so maybe the patch of this program did not change the version number. Okay. Let's just, for kicks, let's say, okay, it patched the basic, it's now running revision C, but it didn't change the version number. Alright, because version number should be like in the 200s or something. I can't remember the exact number for revision C basic. Now this is a test to see if it really did fix it. You do that, you do that, you type this, and then before you do anything else, print A, and the computer should lock up. Computer is locked up. So the Rev B to C patch program I found online, which changes the screen to blue, I mean not blue, but changes it from blue to white to indicate that, hey, it did something, appears to have done nothing at all. So I'm turning the computer off. I'm going to change my disk menu to this disk. Now this does, the only thing this loads and runs is light DOS. Yeah, light DOS. Okay, now I'm going to get the version of the basic. Okay, that's revision B. Now, and this 600XL has revision B basic in it. Now, I'm going to take a basic cartridge. This is revision A, and I'm going to stick in this computer. Now let's, and this version should be different. I think it's not 96, it's something else. Like 100 and something maybe, or something. I don't remember. Okay, 162. That's revision A. Okay, so that's revision A. This is revision B. Okay. Now I'm going to run the patch that I've been looking for, that program from Reader's Feedback and Compute Magazine for like about a year now. Couldn't find it, but I went on archive.org and looked it up. Did a search for it. It just occurred to me to do that, and I found it like I showed previously. So I typed that program in, and I'm not sure what I called it. Hang on. Let's see. Okay, I called it Rev B to C basic. Okay. So Rev B to C basic. Okay, that's the program. Typed it in. Top run. Okay, so it's activated, right? Supposedly. So let's peek that same memory location. It should be 2 something. Yeah, revision C basic. Now we're going to try to crash the computer like we did with revision B. So this is a surefire way of crashing it that I found online. top. Okay, now immediately top print A string. Now it should crash, right? If it's revision A or B. Well, B. Revision A, I don't know if this works on that or not. Look, it's fine. So now this computer is running revision C basic. So this is the listing that you will need if you want your Atari 600 or 800 XL to make it revision C and not have any of the bugs in it. Just a little basic program that you can, turn to an auto run file and do it like that. So that's the story of my journey to fix my XL computers with just a little patch program that was written by Gregory Lotta back in 1985. Switch back to this. This is the, let me zoom in. And it's cutting the screen off. I'll see if I can't fix that. So this is the article I came across. And this appeared in Reader's Feedback back in 1986, and that's strange, isn't it? Because this is 1985. Check this out. I don't know if they referenced that previous fix, or do they? See, they reference Bill Wilkinson's coverage of it in 1985, in May and June 1985 issues. But I don't see any reference to the top end fix. Why is that? Interesting. Why did they may have forgotten about it. I mean, it's possible, but that's strange, isn't it? Anyways, they in this little article they outline what you need to do to be able to replicate the bug in revision B. Okay, well, let's go through it a little bit. This reader, let me see if I can zoom in some more. Surely that's sufficient. This reader, Take Lee, says, I have a very serious problem with my 16K Atari 600 XL. Sometimes right after I've entered a line, the computer locks up, and the only key that will work is system reset. But after I press reset and enter another line, the computer locks up again. Okay, anybody that had an Atari XL computer back in the 80s and did any programming at all would have ran into this. I know I did, and it was pretty frustrating because, at the time we didn't have the internet or access to it, and even if you did, there wouldn't be this much or as much information today as there back then as there would be today. But the point is like where I was at, I had very limited uh, nodes of access to knowledge, so uh, very limited access, and really just a few computer magazines that you get once a month, if you're lucky. Uh, okay, here's Computer's response. You're experiencing the latest incarnation of the infamous Atari Basic lockup bug. This bug afflicts two versions of Atari Basic. The original version, known as Revision A, which was supplied as a cartridge for the 400, 800, and 1200 XL, and Revision B, which is built into the 600 and 800 XL computers. The lockup bug takes a slightly different form in these two versions of BASIC. In Revision A, BASIC is unable to delete, move downward in memory, a block of memory whose size is an exact multiple of 256 bytes. Most users encounter the bug in the form of a keyboard lockup after deleting program lines, but it can affect the movement of strings as well. To illustrate, type in the following program. Okay, and they give a program to test Revision A. Okay, this creates a string variable A string that consists of 256 B characters. Then it makes B string equal to A string. When the program runs, you would expect it to print the letter B 512 times. Type run to see what happens instead. If you have Revision A Basic, the first 256 characters are correct, but the remaining characters are garbage. This occurs because Basic's memory move routine was unable to move the value of A string into B string correctly. To confirm that the bug applies only to blocks of memory and multiples of 256, try changing the number 256 in lines 10 and 20 to some other value. This bug was corrected when Revision B Basic was prepared for the 600 and 800 XL. However, Atari's programmers got carried away and applied the same correction to a routine which didn't need fixing. The routine which inserts moves upwards blocks of memory, which happens when you add a basic program line. Man, that's a terrible sentence there. Weird letter messed me up there. Anyway, as a result, Revision B Basic has its own lockup bug, which rears its ugly head when program lines are inserted instead of deleted. Ironically, the Revision B bug may occur even more often than the old one. And yes, it did. You add program lines more often than you delete them. As an example, turn your 600 or 800 XL off and back on, then enter the following line in direct mode. And this is what I did previously to illustrate the lockup bug on Revision B Basic. And I'm not going to go through that again. If you have Revision B, your computer should be locked up and pressing reset won't recover. For more details, see Bill Wilkinson's Inside Atari columns in May and June 1985 issues of Compute. The line name bug is not the only problem in early versions of Atari Basic. Here's a list of some of the other bugs in Revision A. And it goes through them. I'm not going to read that. Revision B Basic corrects some of the bugs from Revision A, but also adds a few of its own. Okay. And I'm not going to go through that, but it also adds 16 bytes to the end of the program every time you load or C-load it. One solution is get the newest Atari Basic cartridge, Revision C. This is the same basic built into the Atari 65XC and 130XC models. Or they could have added simply get compute November 1985, and in reader's feedback the guy Gregory Lotta shows you how to fix it yourself. So thank you, Gregory Lotta. You just 40 years too late in telling you, but thanks. You did the Atari world a service for those of us that like to play in BASIC. Like to play in machine language too, assembly language, but also just sometimes BASIC is just nice to play around in it, Some people understand that, some people don't. But anyways, so now that I finally found the patch and typed it in and saved it, I will probably do a little bit of basic programming. You know? Alright, guys. I will talk to you later.